Rachel Parker, also of Manhattan Beach. Rachel Parker was a 10-year veteran civilian employee of its police department. Her mother, Robin Monter, told KXLY, a TV news station in Spokane, that Parker was brilliant and had a heart of gold. She also said her daughter volunteered with the elderly and the homeless. Angela Gomez, a 2015 graduate of Riverside Polytechnic High School in Riverside, California. Angela Gomez was identified by the Riverside Unified School District as one of the victims, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. On Monday, a Facebook post read, "It is with heavy hearts that we inform you that one of the victims of the Las Vegas shooting tragedy was a 2015 graduate of Riverside Poly High School." The high school staff described Gomez as fun-loving young lady with a great sense of humor who had a warm heart and loving spirit. Gomez, a cheerleader in high school, was described by her former English teacher and cheer coach, Lupe Avila, as a wonderful young woman who had her whole life ahead of her. Charleston Hartfield, an off-duty Las Vegas police officer and military veteran named Charleston Hartfield, was identified by friends as a victim, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. "I don't know a better man than Charles," said Troy Rett, who said he'd been friends with Hartfield for 8 years. "They say it's always the good ones we lose early. There's no truer statement than that with Charles." Stan King, who wrote "R.I.P. Brother" on Hartfield's Facebook page, told the Review-Journal that Hartfield was one of the nicest guys ever and would be remembered as the most true blue American guy I've ever met. Adrian Murfitt, a close friend of Adrian Murfitt, watched as medics tried unsuccessfully to resuscitate him. The New York Times reported. Murfitt, 35, was a commercial salmon fisherman in his home state of Alaska. He loved playing hockey, could fix almost anything mechanical, and was devoted to his dog, Paxson, a Western Siberian Laika. After working long hours throughout the summer, he and 2 other childhood friends booked tickets for the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival. His sister, Shannon Gothard, told the Times. Murfitt was with his friend, Brian McKinnon, when shooting broke out. Gothard told the Times. "He was just having a good time, enjoying himself, and got shot in the neck," she said of her brother. A woman standing next to Mr. Murfitt was shot in the head, Mr. McKinnon told the family. He watched as medics tried to resuscitate Mr. Murfitt, though the medics told Mr. McKinnon to leave the scene for his own safety. Susan Smith, 53, was a popular office manager at an elementary school in Simi Valley, California. She had 2 children. Her father, Tom Remender, told the New York Times that his daughter was a wonderful person. Smith had worked at the Vista Elementary School in Simi Valley, California, for 3 years and the school district for 16 years, a spokesperson for the school district told ABC News. She had been attending the festival with 2 friends, who both survived. Lisa Romero Muniz, a high school secretary from Gallup, New Mexico, was an incredible, loving and sincere friend, mentor and advocate for students. The Gallup-McKinley County Public Schools interim superintendent, Mike Hyatt, said in a statement. As a colleague, she was also outgoing, kind and considerate of all those she worked with, he said. A wife, mother, and grandmother, Romero Muniz had been in Las Vegas with her husband to see the country music singer Jason Aldean for their wedding anniversary. "She was beyond excited," said Rosie Fernandez, her friend and supervisor at the high school where they worked, told the New York Times. For her husband to remember her anniversary and do all of that, this was a big thing for her. John Phippen of Santa Clarita, California, was with his son, Travis, at the Country Music Festival in Las Vegas when he was struck by a bullet in the lower back, Reuters said. Travis, an emergency medical technician, carried his father to a car that took them to Sunrise Hospital and Medical Center, where the elder Phippen died from his injuries. "He was my best friend," Travis told the Los Angeles Times. "He never did anything wrong to anybody. He was always kind and gentle. He was the biggest teddy bear I knew." In the chaotic scene, Travis had been shot in the arm but didn't realize it until he arrived at the hospital. He is staying with family in the Las Vegas area until the Clark County coroner releases his father's body. A GoFundMe page set up by a neighbor described Phippen as having a heart that was larger than life and a personality to match. Chris Roybal, 28, was a United States military veteran who served in Afghanistan. He was in Las Vegas celebrating his birthday with his mother, who survived, ABC News reported. In a Facebook post from July, Roybal described what it was like to come under gunfire during combat. "I remember that first day, not sure how to feel. It was never fear, to be honest, mass confusion, sensory overload, followed by the most amount of natural adrenaline that could never be duplicated through a needle," he wrote. Unfortunately, as the fights continue and as they increase in numbers and violence, that excitement fades and the anger is all that's left. The anger stays, long after your friends have died. The lives you've taken are buried and your boots are placed neatly in a box in some storage unit. Still covered in the dirt you've refused to wash off for fear of forgetting the most raw emotions you as a human being will ever feel again. What's it like to be shot at? It's a nightmare no amount of drugs, no amount of therapy and no amount of drunk talks with your war veteran buddies will ever be able to escape.